All right, welcome to another episode here. We're going to do some reviews of lighting, and we have three people at least that I should have time to go through. I only have one screen at the moment, so we'll be back and forth a little bit. Might be a bit clumsy. We'll see how it goes since I'm alone today. Thank you for letting me know there's no sound. So, if the three people that I do have picked out, which is Ruslan, Ragimov, Sandra Dober, and Maggie Shelton. So if you are watching, let me know so I know you're watching. And if you don't have the same name as your nick on YouTube, please let me know as well. And if you're comfortable, you can join the stream as well. So I can maybe ask you some questions if needed. Otherwise, I'll be going through your portfolio basically. Okay, cool. Let's see, where is the buttons? Multitasking, huh? All right, so we'll go through Ruslan's portfolio a little bit. You should be able to see my screen while I try and move around here. Okay, where is it? Here, okay. So this is Ruslan's portfolio. It's not bad at all. It's pretty good. There are obviously some questions. What I do notice a lot in the portfolio, Ruslan, is first of all, I wouldn't be writing level environment and lighting artists, to be fair. If I were to hire someone and I'm looking for someone as a specialist, which is in this case a level and a lighting artist, environment artist can be quite general, but I would not be hire someone as a lighting artist if they are not committed. What this tells me is I'm not committed, gonna take whatever I get. That's what this tells me. So even if you have pretty decent lighting, and when I say pretty decent lighting, I mean specifically these two pieces are pretty decent, considering overcast is kind of a difficult thing to try and light. So you have done a good job here, I would say, but I also know you've been using probably movable lights. That's what I thought, which is a bit harder. So pieces look good, but obviously don't have enough information, so it doesn't really tell me anything. I would definitely consider having placement of the lights. I don't know if it comes here at the end at all, but that's kind of useful as well to kind of see more clearly if you have movable lights. Is it just one light, or did you place some multiple lights to create the overcast lighting? Overall, I think this is a good piece though. I don't have much of an issue with this. A lot of what's it called, depth of field going on here. Do you have a cutout on your trees? They stand out a lot. So compositionally wise, I'm not sure if you would need them to be exactly where they are. Might even have been better not keeping them this one on the left side. So having some compositional understanding is definitely useful in where you place your things. So I would probably have placed my camera more towards the right and maybe cut it out a little bit to kind of show more of your environment. In fact, I can almost guarantee you that this is a stronger piece. In some examples, if you shared multiple screenshot, then this whole wide shot. It's very common for people to do that. They want to show absolutely everything. And as I teach my students during the mentorship, you don't have to do everything. It's an interesting idea. You want to try and keep the camera not moving so much. I also noticed you're using the two of the same environment and tweaking it a little bit. So when I see shots like this, the one thing I notice and keep attention is the background. You loses a lot of depth because this thing far away, and then you have this thing in front. So don't be afraid to put a little bit of things in the middle to create that nice depth, so it doesn't look like it's two surfaces. Basically, you don't want it to look like that. Hey, there's something in front and there's something in the background. You want to have some mid ground when you do this kind of stuff. Same comment as in the previous one, which I probably wasn't clear on. A lot of depth of field to create a focus. Definitely want to put more focus if you want to put some focus here for whatever reason. It's subtle depth of field goes a bit further than very obvious ones. So your strong suit on these two pieces is really how you have used the sky together with the lighting. That's what I see. It's your strongest pieces. Obviously, there's a huge difference from a year ago. But I would love to see you do some more pieces, because what I'm struggling with, if I were to review this is from 2 years ago, and this is from last year. Personally, and I'm talking about personally, I think this piece is better than this piece, but there's a year gap between. Yeah, I've already commented that on the Discord community, so I'm not going to do that. Let's see videos. So if you're going to use flames like this, they should be flickering. You can see it's pretty stable on the ground, so you probably want to make sure that the believability is there, right? It doesn't stand out that much. And you also have subtle, I don't know what it is, if it's these lines are a bit odd as well. I do like the thing on the right. It's a nice detail to have that. I wouldn't mind it moving a little bit in the few seconds. That could have been an interesting touch as well. You're pulling the fog too much on this one. Normally, when people use fog, they have a tendency to pull it far away. People do a lot of over fogging because it's a nice effect. But what it does, it also start flattening things out a little bit. And you have tried to use it closely and smart by using different silhouette and buildings here. But overall, this also, by the way, have pretty flat lighting. There's warm light coming from there, and then there's a blue light on the left side. So these are the things I pay attention to if I'm recruiting lighting artists to something, is the consistency between the color palette and if it makes sense. If you're going to fake lighting or do any type of lighting, you want to make sure that it's believable to start with. When it comes to your pieces, if I was doing this, I would probably have I would have actually gotten rid of both of your larger pieces. No offense. I would got rid of this Quickle Megascan piece and this one. I might have kept. I might have kept this one, and that black one didn't have that. Let's just use blue. I might have kept this one, maybe this one, maybe this one even, and maybe even this one. I wouldn't necessarily keep this one, this one, this one. So I would definitely consider cutting down your amount of work to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, but it will still be a weak portfolio, and I'll explain you why. Because all of your lighting is more or less the same. They're quite heavy on atmosphere fog. They're quite overcast and flat lighting, which happens with overcast lighting. So it's not actually showing your capabilities as at least as a lighting artist, so to speak, and a mood developer. It's quite a lot of the same thing. Um, and even for this piece, I personally would have made it a bit more towards this direction. Okay, I would have pushed more contrast, a bit more light, and a bit more color, because you can look at the architecture, which place there is, and tends to be more of a desert color. So you wouldn't necessarily have this strong blue color. It doesn't necessarily fit the mood here. And also keep in mind that this is all a war scene and stuff is happening. So you can see that your skills from overcast is being transferred over to other lighting condition. But in this case, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. So it's definitely something I would work on. So if that makes sense, leave a comment and let me know that you're not confused or anything. Okay. Thank you, Ruslan. If you do have any other questions, let me know. Overall, though, I must say I don't want you to live thinking you did a bad job. You definitely nailed overcast lighting, and Ruslan, that is a very difficult thing to do correctly. So, clap for that. Really good job. You definitely much better in overcast lighting than even myself. So, that's really cool. But yeah, you want to make sure you put the pieces that actually helps you sell your skill set. So again, summary: pick one of these as your area of expertise. I would have given you more help and more feedback, but I also have to limit it to my student. But if you're a student, I go into SyncSketch and do some more editing, and I'll show you how to do things more differently. But summary is that pick one is very misleading for hiring artists to hire you if you show insecurity, right? You're showing insecurity that you're not committed to one thing. Okay, and the summary again, you do a good job with overcast lighting, even if I don't know for sure how you did it based on the fact that I don't see the placement of the lights and the settings. It's always good to show that. It's always good to show playability. So here you would have taken the time to have more shots where you could see different angle back and forth, all the lights placement, or you can have like the inspector or what's this called? I've been working in Unity a lot these days. The list of lights, so you can show all the type of lights, but also it's a very good idea to show the different views. So you have lighting complexity, base value. It's good to know that because obviously you might have been the one editing the materials and things like that. So that's definitely a good idea. Overall, cool, good job. Don't feel that you've done a bad job. You haven't. Okay, cool. Sandora, if you're around, let me know. Um, oh yeah, the tagging. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry. I can show you very quickly. Can I share another screen? Let me share. I have to do that, you see, because otherwise it gets triple stuff for you guys, and I don't want to do that, obviously. Yeah, so what I was just saying with this one is I would have, for this piece, I would have gone a bit more warmer tone. I'm assuming you can see it now, right? Yeah. Hey, Maggie. Your piece is also up next. So for this piece, what I was just saying is, when I look at it, it's a good piece in general, but you have to remember the time of day. It's midday, so the light's coming from top. And also you have to remember this is the war zone, it's the desert, so don't be afraid to play with color palettes and contrast to kind of push your pieces a little bit. I see that because you've been working on overcast lighting again, which you're pretty good at. You're having the same approach in other lighting settings. Your sky is not as good as your overcast lighting, so definitely something to consider here as well. So yeah, so that's basically what I'm saying is you have to play with it. Otherwise, what's going to happen is Because if I go in and look at your actual level, you can see it's pretty even, pretty flat. You don't have a lot of contrast considering it's midday, and you don't have a lot of highlight considering it's day. And if you start editing it like I'm doing now, it doesn't work. Why? Because you have the same value everywhere. And when you have the same value in the image, and I know from my experience from editing, it's not even enough. I don't have enough information to even help you using Photoshop normally, right? So you can see here it's pretty, it's pretty evenly lit, and it shouldn't be because it's day. So let's say you wanted to do it a bit differently, and you can. Again, I do these sessions normally in detail with my students. I have different options for that, so I'm gonna be quite quick here. Otherwise, the students will be like, "Hey, you gave them too much." All right, so let me just duplicate this. All right, so I'm gonna just explain the concept of the gradient, so you kind of understand what I'm meaning when it's flat image. Because I don't want to repeat it for each and one of you have the same challenges, and it's very common. Again, this is not like unusual for most people. I spend a lot of time. I do painting and a lot of other things, so I spend a lot of time focusing on these things for my professional pieces anyway. So I'm kind of dragging it out, but hopefully you can see what's happening, right? The image is the quality of image is slightly improving over time because of this difference in depth that's coming, right? Do you see the difference? And if I do this, do you see that? Obviously I'm doing it in front of you, so you're like, yeah, but it looks a bit odd for some people. But if someone who is an art director or I'm interviewing something, I would be like, okay, there's a clear difference in understanding of value, and that's the biggest challenge you have. And again, it's okay, not a problem. A lot of people have that. And then I would obviously have some focal points. I would maybe have a focal point that goes like somewhere here or whatever. I don't know. You understand? Is this visually more understanding when I am talking about some depth? Okay. Obviously, I'm just doing something random. I wouldn't necessarily make this the highlight, but hopefully you understand that you need to have a bit of oomph in the images here to make them stand out. Okay. Is that useful? Was that helpful? Make sense? Okay, great. That's a great even before changing the screens to show you. All right, cool. Hopefully it makes sense, and I hope for everyone. Please thumbs up if you're liking this. Give me a like. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment. Yeah, this makes sense. This is useful, right? It's kind of important for me that I'm not wasting your time with this. So again, you can see there's a huge difference in quality. Again, I'm just doing something random. The point is for you to understand the values that I look at when I look at images. And this goes for everyone. This is super important for anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a lighting artist or not. If you're doing your own pieces, super important. Okay. I go into this, I can teach you this again in my lighting mentorship, so don't worry about that. But this is generally the point I want to make here. Okay. I'm just gonna switch window again. Oof. Yeah, man. Sure, early gamer. If I have time, I can do you too. Just post it in Discord. I'm assuming you're still there, right? Where's the window? Okay, let's quickly do Sandra, aspiring environment artist. Okay, so I'll give you. So what Sandra is doing differently than Ruslan. Hopefully, when I'm doing these examples, people don't feel offended. It's very important that you have the nice attitude of taking the critique, and that I'm using you guys as an example to not just help you, but also other people. All right. So what she's doing correctly, she's saying she wants to be an aspiring environment artist. So when I'm looking at her pieces, I wouldn't necessarily go, okay, uh, picking too much on the lighting. But regardless of your role, and I say that to all my students who are even environment artists, it's not just lighting artists that comes to learn from me, is if you want to stand out in your role as an environment artist, you definitely need to learn lighting. It will elevate your pieces, and it will stand out other people. You'll stand out a little bit. So when you do these kind of environments, don't be afraid. I know you're showing your environment. What's up with this? This looks like the materials are a bit off here. It looks just super. Yeah, it just looks odd. But I'm not gonna. This is super. This you need to avoid. You see this hotspot. You have to be very very careful when you do your work to not reveal the hotspots, because obviously I can see and I already know that there's a light coming in one direction, right? So you definitely want to avoid that, and you want to have a background too, because if you have a black background, it ruins the image and it flattens the image more. So you want some kind of relevant color for your background as well. Otherwise, you end up in a situation where it doesn't actually work in your favor, which you might think it works in your favor, but it doesn't. Let me just try and go to other screen in secret and just prepare some of the scenes here, because I would just want to show you as well an example. Actually, I will do it on one of the other PCs first. So many windows. Whoever was gonna post another portfolio review thing, just tag me on Discord, and I'll try and get to you. Okay, thank you. Wow, doing this alone, man, and one screen, I swear, it's quite tedious. At the locker room, so a recap on this one here. I won't show example at the moment, but you definitely shouldn't be afraid to add some rim light or some extra highlights to your lights to kind of elevate your piece. I might make some tutorials for that. Actually, if you give me your 3D model, Sandra, I'll be happy to just do some quick work for YouTube and show you how I would light it very quickly. You definitely also want to avoid hotspot. That's the recap I'm saying. And if you're gonna have a bright light like this, it would make sense to have some light coming out if needed. But again, the time of day is unclear because you don't have a sky. You can tell by direction, obviously, and you have a lot of warm tone going on. So that's something called what I call when you have materials that are very brown. At least from the point of a lighting artist, you have materials that are warm. You have like a warm roof, you have warm everything, and then you put also warm light. It will flatten the image a little bit. So that's why if you had a blue sky, for example, in the background, it would make it pop more, right? And then you could actually add another light to kind of get that blue fill light in, right? Right now it's very warm. Does that make sense? I don't know if I can actually edit it successfully. I'll be honest. I'm not a Photoshop expert, but I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try for you guys, okay? Let me just do this, and then I go over to the other one. I'm so sorry. My TV broke, and I'm just living with one screen, so we're just gonna have to go back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so let's see. Can I do this easily? So could I go for maybe, let's see. I don't know which color I should go. So you have a kind of a stylized still. So maybe we could go for. I'm gonna see if I can just cheat and do this. Well, that kind of worked. I have to do mask and everything. That's so annoying. I don't want to overcomplicate everything. Where's that thing? There's a thing, right? There's a thing somewhere. Is this one? Let's try the magic wand. Oh no! I have to. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. We'll do it the old school way. Okay, the old school works because again, we're just gonna show you a general example of it. So I have something selected somewhere. Okay, does this work? Still selected. Go away. Okay, it's good. We're good. Okay, that's too dark because of the opacity. Just do this. So just want to give a quick example of what happens when you have another color on top of another color. This is very important for any artist, even us lighting artists. Obviously, we are a bit Nazi on it, I would say. Probably not a good word to say on YouTube, but actually, what I should have done, should have just done this, shouldn't I? Okay, if I just did this and this. Okay. I'll just do this. And then I'll do it. I'll just do a little bit like this. And then I'll just do this. I want it a bit bigger. There you go. This is me being lazy. I probably should have just done the mouse, shouldn't I? I would have been done by now if I just did it properly. Okay, so the point here is you need some background, because if you have a background, you can do some cool stuff, right? It changes, this elevates your piece by having a background, but more importantly, if you did have a background, so for example, I'm already ruining part of the piece, but that's okay. Where is it? There's no highlight on your piece. Okay, so when I say highlight, there's no key areas that's bright. That kind of leads the eye. So you want to do the same here as well. You want to start leading the eye a little bit. Create that depth. Okay, see that? How different that is the minute you start adding a little bit of contrast and depth to things. Obviously, you would make it a bit different if needed. And don't be afraid with like more shadow if needed for your piece. So that means maybe make this a bit more darker. Maybe this a bit darker. Maybe this should be even more darker. Maybe this should be darker. I'm being a little bit lazy. And when I say lazy, it's because I'm not going in here and changing all the shadows, because that will go quicker. Okay, so you want to start playing around with these things. That's basically my point. And then you would add some blue light and kind of make it work like that. Make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. Let me just look at your piece from another point of view. You can see it's again pretty flat here as well. If we use the exaggerated version, you can see again there's contrast. There's a leading eye, right? So these are the things I want you guys to kind of understand and put into practice. Okay. Background eraser. Well, Maggie, you should be on the stream. You want me to invite you into the stream? You can do it for me. Okay. You seem to be good at this kind of stuff. Okay. Make sense? Makes sense, right? You understand? Ramos, Maggie, early gamer. Ramos number 2. Okay, we're good? Cool. Makes sense, right? That shouldn't be too complicated, I think, right? Right. Okay. Makes sense, right? Okay, cool. Okay. So that's basically that. It's the same thing here, really. So on this stuff, what I would be focused, what I pay attention to is the reflection on the ground and the reflection on the top. I also pay attention to the fact this color is not the correct color. This color would not happen for this type of lighting, realistically speaking. Okay. So again, I'm teaching you stuff in my course. If you guys want to learn more, do consider investing and helping me do, I have a course and mentorship as well. It teaches you even more advanced things, the fundamentals, incorrect materials, EV, curves, lighting, painting, art fundamental, how to use fog. There's some testimonials, so please, you should consider that. There's a lot of content that is more advanced and we'll go into detail, but this blue color should not be happening at all, because when you have the Kelvin scale of color temperature, you guys notice the level of detail I go when I go. This is not the Kelvin temperature. It's a bit too. I don't need a video. I just want a freaking image. Let's do this one. This is a terrible one. I wanted this one. Can I use this one? Okay. Is that an image? By the way, you're still looking at my screen, right? Okay, cool. So this is use the Kelvin temperature for this. Don't pick a color. And then you change the emissive afterwards, but the emissive would actually be more white. Okay? The emissive will be more white when you do these kind of things. And again, actually, I love teaching people, in case you don't know, and I love doing this, so I'm just gonna keep giving you more help here. Did I actually already add that in somewhere? Yeah, I did actually. Okay, cool. Maybe I should have done another piece. Let's do one more for you, okay? Because this is. Let's pretend I know my way around Photoshop, guys. Okay. Where is it? Is it color balance I want? Probably. Yeah. So if you're gonna go for blue, you want to make sure that it's kind of obvious that there's blue. Let's say I wanted to keep this over stylized color. Okay, I would push it like this. You see the difference? So why am I saying this? Again, color is a huge part of when we do any kind of work. So you guys are doing it, environment artists, it doesn't matter. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Okay, this is super important to understand this when you do any kind of work. The color has to match. So what is happening with my eyes here? And I explain it to you now. My eye, which is also a painter's eye, obviously lighting artist eye has too. I've also been a 3D artist before, just so you guys know. I've been a level designer too. So just because I'm doing lighting now doesn't mean I haven't any clue of what you guys are doing at the moment. I just doesn't know substance designer and substance painter though. I don't know that. This is a warm color here. Okay. This is a white color. This is a super blue color. There's inconsistency in the eye. Okay. Inconsistency. We want to avoid the inconsistency, even if there's a reason there's a warm color. I like the idea. I do. I understand it, but it's right next to your light source. Okay. Would it make more sense to do it somewhere else? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no reason you can't do it, but I would probably go for a warmer color, probably somewhere here. Okay. Don't you just love my my drawing skills on Photoshop? Isn't there a way to make this easier? Probably that works. Okay, so you will be adding more subtle warm light coming in somewhere here, right? That's the difference. So you could do that. I'm not saying it would be better because obviously I'm doing things on the spot and whatnot. Can I? Okay, but is it the right choice? Maybe, maybe not. But you can obviously see there's a difference. It's less disturbing if it comes from one side. If I were doing this piece, I would probably not delete it like this. By the way, did I remember to share the screen? Okay. Thank you. Let me just make sure I actually share the right screen. You guys have to tell me when I forget. Okay, now we're going. Okay, so when you look at these pieces, the color, the blue pieces, I was saying this one is warm, this one is bright, and this one is kind of blue. Okay. So you have to make sure that there's some consistency in what you're doing. That means it's more suitable to have a warmer color somewhere else. Okay. Somewhere else it has warmer color. That's fine. It could technically have some warm color here if you wanted to, right? I'm obviously overdoing it on purpose just because I can. Okay. That's fine. It could have something coming on this side. It's less disruptive because it's away from the cold light. If I were to do it though, I would try a different. First of all, I would have tried a different camera angle because what's happening here is you have this getting cut out and there's a cutout here, and these are things we want to avoid. And you have it in the other piece as well, where you have a camera angle. And let me just go grab the image. It's technically, arguably, I think it's this one, right? It's the same one here. You're cutting the image, and then it's empty out there. So it's empty, but there's warm color coming in. To me, it doesn't make sense. And there's a warm color at the bottom, but the light is blue. So that's what I was saying about the color balance. Okay, here, the color balance. If you work on the color balance, which is picking a very clear color palette, you can see there's a huge difference, okay? Huge difference. And then, once you do that, isn't it amazing what we can explain just with using your 2D image? I'm not even in Unreal. So what I would probably do again, you don't be afraid to. You guys are super afraid of kind of pushing. This is your focal piece, I'm assuming, because there wouldn't be any reason to do anything else. Don't be afraid to kind of push it. You know, push it, push it, push the story, guys. Come on. Obviously, you would balance it out here as well. You would have like a gradient going. Maybe we would have some fun over here. La la la. That's a bit too much, you know. And maybe you can keep it dark there, but you could also, have something if you wanted to. Does that make sense, people? I obviously I would change the blue again. It wouldn't be this blue. Normally, it would be more white, because when the light gets brighter, it's you don't actually see that it's blue or um, that blue, that emission material. And then you could kind of make it more spooky if you wanted to. Ooh, spooky, 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 spooky. I'm just overdoing everything now just to prove a point. Okay. Blah 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 blah. When I do this with my students, it takes ages too. But I don't actually want the shadow. I just want a little bit. Actually, it wants me to do the shadow apparently. Okay. And then you can kind of make this darker if you want to. You can make this a bit darker, this a bit darker, this a bit darker. You see the difference? Come on, guys. It's obvious, right? Come on. Come on. What's better? This or this? I understand people have preference, but I would have done this. Okay? Boom, boom. What do you think is clearer? If anyone actually picks the other one, we're gonna have a talk, a serious talk about your artistic eye. See this? See this? Clear focal. Okay? I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna see if you're voting for this. Come on, vote. Come on. Let me know your opinion. Is this? This is obvious, right? Hopefully you guys understand the difference. You guys need to talk to me. Stop being so quiet. I'm gonna check the Discord. Where did you post it? Showcase any work. Cool, cool, cool. La, 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 la. Which one are you anyway? This is like Instagram and then there's a R station. Are you Intra or Fares or what the? I see. Let me just let people know that they should be watching the YouTube because I don't want to do it on Discord. We are on YouTube. In case you don't know, because my screen died. Okay, cool. Makes sense? Intra. Okay. It looks great, Maggie says. Well, I'm glad someone appreciates my skills. Finally, some appreciation. I worked so hard to learn all of this. And now I'm passing it on finally. Maggie, thank you. Okay. Intra, Intra, cool. Copy paste Intra. I was supposed to just do 1 hour, but what the fuck? I'll just keep going as long as I can. I'll be a bit quicker though. We have 19 minutes left. I'll be super quick with the latecomers, you guys who didn't respect my, the actual time when I said you guys should post this. I would have planned differently if I knew so many people were interested. Acting? Thank you. I appreciate that. I also, I went to theater as well when I was younger. I tried having an acting career at work. They were doing some recording for the game Esta's Fault coming out next month. Support me, buy it. I did the lighting for it. Let me do some shameless plug-in for work as well while we're at it. Right? Boom. You guys been watching this? Go buy this. That's mine. It's all mine. All my work. Are you guys proud? You should be proud. I work really hard. Look at that. Okay, back to the actual focus. Wow. There's a lot going on here. So your poorest work, I'm the guy who goes to straight. I'm like just to the point. The poorest work is obviously this one because you're all over the place with colors. Now, what does that mean? It means again, we're talking about the understanding of color balance and also color harmony. So you have a warm color, kind of, at the back. You have a light coming in from the window because you can see it on the right side here. You have the blue light there, which doesn't necessarily have the effect it should have, considering the brightness, right? Uh, and you also have something we call color mixing. Color mixing is very subtle, but if you really pay attention, there's a lot of green here, and that happens very often when you start mixing different color, right? So you have different color, and because you already have kind of warm yellow, and then you have kind of blue, it's starting to get it mixed, and you get like light blue and green. Okay, don't believe me? The cops are after me. I gotta hide, guys. Um, this one, yes. See this green? It's showing up when I'm editing it. Obviously, you need to train that for that, but it's very obvious for me anyway that the color mixing is taking over. Okay. Furthermore, this piece is super difficult. I would at least even it out so it's blue, at least. And I wouldn't do it necessarily, but the reason I'm showing it like this is just to show you how calmer and more, even though it's supposed to be spooky, it is to look at it from a color palette point of view. So if you need to practice that. Practice using one color and work with different intensity. Okay, it's very important to do that. In fact, let me just change the screen again because I think I need to show that on the other screen. Wow, my job is really hard. The first time in a reel, I should be nicer to you then, shouldn't I? Are we still gonna show you? Come on, let's go. So if you just have a one color first, it will help you a bit to get some consistency with your image. Okay. Yeah. So if this was your first image, again, you don't have to use that many different lights coming in, and then you have a bit fog, and then you end up with that green color mixing I'm talking about. That happens because the colors are mixing, and especially if you have fog and other material, which is blue material. Again, color mixing also happens with materials. That's why when you do sunset lighting and all the materials have a specific material, we pay attention to change the materials if we know it's going to be sunset, so it doesn't end up with some weird colors on the materials after bake, for example. Okay, makes sense. Wow, this is back and forth here, isn't it? It's like a full-time job here, just back and forth. This is what happens when you don't have help. I was supposed to have more people join today, but everyone was busy. But I planned this 1 month ahead. Everyone was busy. Okay. Cool. So this is 7 months ago. So you just started 7 months ago. Wow. So it says lighting material artist. What do you think I'm going to say? I'm not going to say it. You're going to have to write it. I'm going to go look now. I'm looking at the chat. What do you think I'm going to say when it says lighting and material artist? What do you think? What do you think is on my mind when I see two things? What do you think? I'm waiting for you, Maggie. You better type it out. Come on. Let's do it. Some interaction. That's right. Good job. That's right. We want to have one title to make clarity. So, depending on what you pick here after this conversation, you remove what you don't need, right? So you don't need this if you're going to be a material artist. Yeah, it's cool to show you understand materials, but there's other ways to show that, right? Definitely remove this one from your portfolio. Did I tell you, Sandra, by the way, what to add and remove? Aspiring environment artist. I think in your case, I would just improve my lighting. That, Sandra, I actually told you that before and you didn't implement it. This is a no good. This desaturated, overcut. That normally happens if you do tone mapping or some post-processing effect or something and a lot of fog. It's good. There's not a problem with this, but this is an omni light, so this little amount of light wouldn't actually happen. Just to be fair, but that's fine. And this Sometimes it's better to turn off the lights. But yeah, you can keep all of them. Maybe remove this one because you're not a prop artist. You're an environment artist, so you don't really need this one, even though it's cool. You're doing good job, so don't worry about that. I know I'm a bit harsh, but I'm just trying to help you guys. Yes, get rid of this one. Is this material or corked? That's cool, but get rid of it if you're gonna be a lighting artist. If not, you keep it. So you guys are really making me work here. Sitting here and taking all the freebies. I'm gonna go on Discord hang afterwards on the portfolio review. I'm gonna go there in a minute, in about 15 minutes. So if you have questions or want to ask more questions, you can. In the future, if I plan this a bit better and if we're a bit more efficient, you can actually join me in the stream and answer my question as I show you. So if that's why I wanted to know if someone was online, because I wouldn't mind if you kept me company. See what I just did? That's all I did. See what? See that? Boom, boom, done. Thank you, Amit. You do wanna? There's no right and wrong answer in this case, but where is it? I wanna duplicate this one more. But having like pure black is not really something I recommend for beginners anyway. There has to be a reason for it. So I would probably encourage you to make it a little bit more visible. Yeah. While I get carpal syndrome trying to click a lot. Okay. Probably wouldn't do too much in the background there, to be honest. Mostly because of the contrast, because you have a lot of fog. So in the image anyway, I need to be careful. Otherwise, it flattens it. And that's, I guess, that's a different topic altogether. But you also want to make sure that you don't have like more. You need more depth in some cases to make sure that it all makes sense. You didn't utilize these butterflies as much. I thought that could have been actually cool if you did that. So how would you do that? I don't know. Maybe you would have like this, a little bit subtle. Maybe I should use this one actually. Like that, and you just to kind of make it more interesting. Obviously, this is not perfect because I'm just giving you some idea if you want to do this type of stuff. They have different ideas, but yeah, you see, is that better or no? Obviously, it needs some fine tuning, but hopefully you see the point, right? Okay, you don't see it. I guess patience, man. Patience. That's okay. You see the end result. That's what matters, man. That's all that matters. Making my damn. Okay, you see it now. Okay, okay. See my hard work that I did. Okay. This is your. This is my edit. Different? Yes. Do you agree? Do you see the difference? Normally, I do the portfolio reviews for my students. Obviously, I have classes and stuff. So normally, I do it for my paid students. This, at least this level of review, as you can see, is very detailed, very time consuming. So I do it for my students, but occasionally I'll do this for other people as well because I've seen how other people give reviews and no one actually gives proper review, which I consider in detail and understanding some of the key concepts. But yeah, do you see the difference? So here we're doing. So technically, all you need to do was to add some direct brightness here. That's the first thing I did, and then I kind of brightened the foreground a little bit because I personally don't like all black, so I would definitely do something with the bottom part a little bit. And then I'm just giving you ideas that hey, maybe you wanna play around with these butterflies you have. They could elevate your piece a bit more, and then maybe Even I would maybe even go like, okay, I would then probably experiment even more, to be honest, because I would probably try. I don't even know if it's a good idea, but I would probably try and do this as well to focus even more on the piece here to really make it boom. That's where I want you to look. So what you did do right. Okay, let's be a bit positive. I feel like all I'm doing is saying things are bad when it's not bad. Obviously, you guys are awesome. So I'm gonna give you one thing. I'm gonna give you one praise, just one. This is super good. That you have a leading line is very good. You have a centerpiece, which is fine. Could this have worked over there? Probably. Probably. Um, Probably could have worked if you used a bit of rule of third. Could have worked as well. Depends on your preference, but this all have different reason, different impact. That actually goes for all of you. Your composition and choice of framing definitely could be a bit different. You guys like a wide view way too much. Should be banned. This one is a bit harder. I don't know what I want to show. Kind of like the car crash, so I will probably have aimed for something more focusing on the car crash, I suppose. This one, wow, come on. That's a different topic, isn't it? Don't even know how to do with this one. Okay, let me just check. Don't worry, I'll show you in a minute. I'm just doing it behind the screens. There, I have it. I have it ready. Saving time. Cool. So what I would do, I would edit some of the images. So I would try and find a different composition, basically. Okay. I would do that for every piece. I would try and okay, what can I do to make the focal point a bit clearer? Okay. I don't know what the hell this is doing. So let's get rid of this one. This one is fine. Same here. You can see the difference in focal point and piece, right? You can see how different that is. So what I did, the minimum you need to do is just having a leading line. That's a very good choice. You did the leading line with the light coming in, super good. And then I brighten up the foreground a little bit. Then I put some focal point on the thing in the middle. Then I put some glow to the butterflies. And then, sometimes it's good to reconsider the piece and see, okay, can you try another composition to explain the piece? This is why I don't like black stuff, because it kind of cuts off the whole image a bit too much for my taste. And there's something you need to remember as well. A lot of people think that you need a lot of black stuff to kind of show something or the story or whatever, but you don't really need that. Even the horror stuff one of you guys were doing earlier, you don't need that to kind of tell the story. It's not that. So just to give you an example of how to put some focus also compositionally wise, you can do that as well. I'm not saying you guys did a bad job compositionally wise, but I do think there's room for improvement. If you choose to do that, you can see this one is quite different than if you tried to do the other one. So this versus this, for example, even very different feeling. This versus this, different feeling. Okay, makes sense? Yes. Cool. Very good. Okay, you're paying attention. All right. Good. 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 Lag in the chat. That's fine. I mean, probably shitty internet or whatever's going on. Boop, boop, boop. You happy? You happy? You happy, Maggie? Happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? Happy, 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 happy? Was it useful? Blah, 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 blah. I'm not on drugs. I've just been busy with lighting, but business trips and vacation, using my vacation for it. I'm super exhausted. I was actually not planning on coming on today. That's how exhausted I was. I was like in bed and going, "Oh, dude, what should I?" No one's going to show up anyway. I'm like, "I'll do it." And then there's quite a few watching, so probably a good idea I didn't cancel. Other than that, cool stuff, and it's the same concept really. In many sense, it's the same thing here as well. You don't need to do. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? This is gonna be a little bit fucked up for you guys, but I'm just gonna share my screen, so you'll see double screen. You'll see some of the chats and stuff, but that's okay. But at least you won't be able to forget what I'm doing. Okay, so this way I don't have to keep screwing up. So I'm not gonna necessarily, well, let me just put it there. And because it's white, because I'm being lazy, right? So in this case, it's actually quite important that I make it black. Otherwise, the image. So the thing. So why did I make it black? It's a very small thing, but it's a very important principle as well. Is if you have something that's very bright next to something that's dark, and that's where we're talking about different things in the course as well, is it makes something look brighter and darker, right? It's the how the eye works basically. So to make sure it doesn't look like everything is super dark, super bright, or contrasty, I'm adding a black to it quite quickly. So there's a reason for it. It's not just because it was bright, but it actually would interfere with what I'm doing with you guys. Here again, you can always do the same thing. Be comfortable with the pieces, make it the focal point. So the biggest issue I have with this one though is not necessarily that. It's the fact that this one is super bright. So I would definitely make this darker, but I can't right now. So I'm just gonna prove a point by doing this. You see, your eyes are now more focused compared to this one. You know why? Because you have this one is super bright and it's on the cut, and we call it tangent very often. So these things like this cut out is very often not something that's recommended. So you want to try and avoid all of these tangents. To be very, very honest, you would try and avoid all of it as much as possible, and you wish kind of just make sure it's clean image with clean focal point. Make sense? Yes. Oh, look at that. I have to. Unfortunately, this is the only way for me to check your comments. So you guys get brain fucked with me. What else? Yeah, overall, same thing really everywhere. So if you're asking me, Maggie, you didn't tell me you're gonna be a lighting artist or material artist? Lighting artist or material artist? What you wanna be, Maggie Shelton? Actually, I can move it like this while I wait for Maggie to reply. We're waiting for Maggie to reply in the chat. She likes lighting better. Okay, then you should definitely consider doing my course, enjoy my mentorship. Boom, placement of advertisement. Let's go. Yeah, I have a lighting course, I can teach you all of this. Can help you achieve your dreams. Where's the damn buttons? I was doing something, right? Yeah, so what would I remove? So as a lighting artist, so you gave me answers, so we're just gonna go ahead and make the decision for you. So obviously this is not needed. This is cool, but not needed. This is not needed. Is this Unity? Oh yeah, okay. Real actually. Okay, stylized. Yeah, we don't need this. We don't need that, Maggie. Oh look, she has a demo reel. Let's see. You know, recruiters watch our stream, right? What's up with your trees? They're like super specular. It's cool. I'm 3 minutes over, so we're gonna be a bit quicker because I would like to finish everyone's. Yeah, get rid of this. Demo reel. I mean, you can keep it. You can keep the demo reel, but you can remove the stuff that you have in the demo reel. So if someone watches the demo reel, fair enough. They get to see some of your stuff. Um, I mean, you have. I like the background, but it doesn't suit the foreground. You know, we're talking about the color balance here. So you have like sunset, sunrise, and then you have like nothing here, and then you have fog here, and it's all blue, and then you have light here. So let's get rid of this one as well, Maggie. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Uh, if you could improve this one, I would probably consider if you could replace these assets. It could be fun, but it's not like a super important piece. I would probably remove that. This one I would definitely recommend improving if you still have this scene. I think it's a very good, easy scene to kind of have fun with. And also, I already gave you feedback, so you know you should use that. You don't need this because you know corks. I mean, I know I lived in France and Bordeaux and worked for the Ubisoft, but you know it doesn't mean I want to see corks every day. You know, I'm just kidding. You don't need the corks. Definitely get rid of this one. Okay, are we agree? No, that's too bad. Um, you can keep this one for now, and the only reason I'm saying you keep this one for now is not because I think it's solely. I mean, you can see it's decent lighting by all means, considering the close up. Oh, I'm getting this is exterior light because it suddenly changes the color. You know, I would add some lights here as well, just like to rim it a little bit subtly. Very important. You can keep this one. And the reason you the reason you can keep this one, Maggie, is because you kind of removed half of your stuff. That's why. Again, if you work on your lighting, you could probably keep this one too. But again, you have very saturated color. Don't be afraid to desaturate it. Okay, stop with the. You guys need to stop with the over saturation and everything. Things are a lot more desaturated from 4RI than it actually seems. So what I'm saying is, things aren't as saturated as you think they are. But it's just that's not how it is. So we're not going to critique the lighting because you're kind of starting to understand the point, but you need to dim it down a little bit. Okay, you see how different that is. What do you think? Which one do you think is more realistic now, even without changing the lighting and color? All I did was desaturate the color choice a little bit. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know if I'm talking nonsense. Tra la la. Tell me, Maggie. It's okay if you don't agree. Who's messaging me on Discord? What you want? Why are you tagging me, Kleiko? Of course I know how to render a single character. What kind of question is this to ask me? Hi, Emmanuel. Maggie didn't reply, so we're gonna keep going. In case you didn't know, Maggie, we're gonna remove this. You can keep the shower, sorry, but you can remove it. You can no. So you can keep this, keep this, keep this. There is something I like with the gulp. I would definitely reconsider composition and placement of your work. So that should give you 4 pieces that you should keep. If you keep anything else, and if I see it after a month, I'm not gonna give you feedback because that's what you ignore all my advice. I'm gonna cry on the table and go like, I spent 20 minutes giving this Maggie help and you didn't listen to me. What's the point? But for the rest of you, you should consider learning and relighting. The king of the lighting courses. Here, see? This is what you learn. 200 6 month down payment, $50. You can join the mentorship. I even go as far as giving you 12-month down payment. A lot of good shit. So if you like this, you're gonna love the real shit. Hello, Henry Allen. It's your turn. You have a lot of pieces. So we are going to pick on. I guess we can pick on the latest one. Oh no, I have to log in. That's too bad. I don't want to log into my Instagram. This one is cool though. Why do I have to log in? You should have just posted. You can post on Discord if you still want me to go through it. You have to make it easy for me. Don't make it hard. Why did Fares post this? Am I supposed to do anything with that? Oh god, I don't know. I've seen this character before. You need to like this. He should be on the stream. I would help him. But he's not on the stream, so I can't help him. That's unfortunate. Alright, I think that covers the people. Henry Allen, you have 5 minutes to react. And give me 3 images that you want me to look at. Go! 3, 2, 1. Oh, Clayco, you're on stream. You are watching. I'm making fun of your requests on Discord. I'm so sorry. Forgive me for being so careless. Okay, Alan, I see you're around. Please post something easy for me to look at. Henry Allen. Okay. Oh shit. Don't want to show you guys all my business work. Oh, look at that. Let's see Henry Allen stuff. Okay, let's just share the screen. Boom. All right. A lot to pick on here, huh? Which one should I pick on? Let's watch the video first. The first thing I think about, Firefly. Before I open my mouth. Do Firefly even give any light off? I mean, there must be some light coming out of them. At least, artistically. Yeah. We're gonna say, artistically, you could have used it more interactively. Hold on. A phone does give a lot of light, but does it give this white light? I'm not sure I would have picked that kind of shape for your light. Phone light night. You notice that I always look at references before I specifically say anything to you guys to be a bit more sure. So what I would pay attention to is you always look at references and see how much spread a certain phone gives and what color it gives and how it interacts with people, right? This one is a warm light, but most lights give blue light, right? That's why we call blue light with the screen. That's why you're awake to begin with, but that's why you shouldn't be on your screen 1 hour before bedtime because of the blue light, right? It keeps you awake. It thinks it's daytime, you know. Did you know if light hits your skin, it also wakes you up? So it's not really about the eye, it's the fact that the blue light hits your skin and it reacts. Fun fact for you guys who are into mindset and improving your life, which I also teach my students. It's not just about lighting. I teach a lot of other stuff. But here, blue, we going for blue light here. Maybe even blue light here and maybe a different color palette in the background. I understand that you chose to have warm light in front. Well, I don't know if that's what you chose, but that's what I'm interpreting anyway for you. And then you have a cold light in the background. So that's definitely what I can notice the most. So you could have like white light, for example. That would have worked too. Okay, okay. Here you have light everywhere. It's kind of what I said earlier. You have warm light here, then you have cold light here. I see what you're trying to do, but this is a when you have metal pieces, they're very reflective. They depend a lot on your environment. So if you're gonna do some lighting and presentation, first of all, you want a very clear shape, very clear form and silhouette, preferably sideways. And you want to make sure you have a clear background. You want some depth, and you want some SGRI sky, so you actually get it to light your character. Okay, so that's what I would have done here. I don't know what the hell is going on here, but I can see lights coming from back. Okay, and you have light coming from front, which you should avoid unless you know what you're doing. Now, in this case, you have the light catching everywhere, so you can see a very contrasty background. When I say background, I mean this area here, right? And you have kind of overblown hair. So you want to make sure you put the lights in a direction that makes sense, and also make sure that you don't have too many lights. So obviously, I can see the shadows as a guideline. So generally, you want to keep track of all those things. And yes, I'm getting tired, so I'm being very specific. This is too bright lights. That's what we call you getting close to being overblown. So you want to make sure that you can avoid that. And also, you want to make sure there's a reason for that to be the brightest spot. It would have made more sense to maybe come from the right side and brighten up this area. So let's have a look at this one, I guess. Um, this one should be hard to do, but we'll do it anyway. I'm so hungry. I'm starving. So first I would do whatever I could to kind of darken this, to be honest. And then I would do the opposite, kind of focus on this area. Obviously, it's very difficult because the image itself is difficult. So it's obviously not going to work as well as I want it to be. So I wonder if I can cheat a little bit. Okay, I would do. Generally, that's what I would try and aim for. Is have a bit more focal point towards the face rather than the back. You see the difference? Obviously, you would do it better if you actually did this change, but hopefully it makes sense. I'm just inverting it, so to speak, to put the focal point over here. Okay? Makes sense? Yes? No? Yes? Yes? No? Yes? Yes? No? I need a class about lighting a scene with a character style I can. Clayco, if you give me your character and permission, I'll make a course, like a tutorial of doing it, or at least how I would do it. Hey Manuel. Okay, where are we at? That said, Henry, you have interesting work. You're definitely creative. You look like you have. What's your inspiration? Who do you get inspired by, Henry? You have a. There's a hint of a specific artist I know of. I can see in your work, but I'm not gonna guess or say who it is. What other stuff do you have? So free advertisement for you, Henry. Huh, cool. Proper creative person here, guys. That's cool. A lot of stuff you've been doing, huh? Even the contemporary course. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work to do here in terms of lighting, obviously, but the same thing here. You wouldn't have the light as bright on the right side because my eye is going more to the right side and has something to do with the rule of third, which I'm sure you know about. So you want to make sure this one is brighter as well when you do this kind of stuff. Okay. When you do lighting, and present your composition, color. There's so much that goes into learning lighting. It's not just placing out the lights. That's why I keep picking on other stuff too. Because when we do lighting, you need to learn all of the other stuff. You need to understand composition, storytelling, contrast. There's so much to it, and that's why being, at least when you're trying to be a great lighting artist, it takes a lifetime because there's so much to keep up with. Okay, see that? See how the brightest light on the right, you can clearly see that I'm in fact correct in assuming that the brightest light is to the right, because when I do my version it shifts. Okay, so these are very important. It's very small things, but these are very fundamental things, again, that I teach in the course. Hint, hint. Cool. What else is there? Fucking hell, guys! You coming like last minute and just making me work my ass off here, huh? Let's just keep going. Should have a break advertisement at this stage. All right, let's keep going. Let's have some more fun. Any comment? Okay, he makes sense. I make sense. You make sense. He likes Mobius. Who's Mobius? For anyone who doesn't know who Mobius is, yes, French. Oh, it came up anyway. Is that Mobius? Is that the right Mobius? Tell us. No, don't spam me stuff. Sure. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Let's get rid of the stuff, and let's get rid of this, and let's get rid of this and this, and we have Manuel. Hi, Manuel. So you're an environment artist. Well, I can tell you one thing, Manuel. We have a lot of work to do with your lighting. Okay? Happy you agree. Very happy you agree. I'm just gonna show mine. Instead of critiquing yours, I'm just gonna do this. This is how you do it. Okay? Okay. Great. No, I wanna go back. Rrr. Lost you, man. Eh, eh, eh. Why doesn't it work? Give me back, Manuel. Don't take him away from me. Hustle MS. By the way, you want to change this. Guys, don't do this. You need to be searchable, especially if you're doing freelancing or want to do freelancing. You have to have your name there pop up. I don't even know if I have my name pop up. I'm telling you guys to do it. Probably should check. Have my name pop up. Yeah. Well, at least the two first one. So that's fine. Yes, you should have your name here. Yes. Morbius is a vampire. There's an artist. He makes an art every day. So if you don't know who that is, you should probably want to look up that guy. So you change the materials, that makes it very dark. No. Manual. No. 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 No, I'm not even gonna edit it because I can't. So very dark reflection. So you obviously didn't edit it. Not good. Remember, reflections are dependent on your environment. Okay, so you need to tweak the reflection accordingly. You need to fake or add some kind of HDRI if you need to, or cube map to deal with this kind of thing. Second, guys, if you have a black material, a dark material, dark albedo, doesn't matter if it's black, but the darker it is, the less it's gonna spread around, right? The light's not gonna be jumping around much, so you end up with a more dark environment. So even if you have lots of light here, what do you notice? It's super dark at the bottom. Even if you have long enough range, it's about exploding on top, but it's very dark at the bottom. Why? Because it's very dark material, and when you have dark material, it absorbs the lighting. Okay, that's why if you do lighting and you have very white albedo, bright albedo, what happens? It's gonna spread around a lot. Okay, so you should avoid that. Over, I mean, the environment is fine, obviously. I'm not too picky on that, but your materials are not correct. I can tell you that much. But hey, Manuel, if you go to my course, even if you think it's a lighting course, guess what? I teach you understanding on incorrect materials, and I teach you how to correct it old school. See that? It's lucky. It's your lucky day, bro. It's a lucky day. Um, it's very flat, very dark. So what does that mean? Okay. Does anyone want to guess? I mean, I should have taught you something by now. Someone needs to do a guess. Someone needs to come on and help me pass on this knowledge. Where are you? Where you go? There you go. Can I just do this? Okay, I don't think we need all of these available anymore. I guess you guys figured that out. Let's just save some memory while we're at it. Again, please like, subscribe, share. If you're watching, share on your social media. When we're watching, get some more people on board. Show some support. God damn it. Cool. So here we go. Again. But different reason. And what's the reason? Anyone want to guess? Anyone want to guess? Anyone? No? Okie dokie. Don't want to guess? Too afraid? That's fine. So this is super bright. It's okay to have bright source of light. That is actually correct. So that's 1 point for you. Maybe it's a bit too bright, but it is correct to have the light source brighter than the source that's going around the room, right? This light is gonna always be brighter than the actual light that goes around the room, right? You can see the light hitting me on the side somewhere, I assume, but it's not gonna be brighter than the light source itself. Okay? It's very important to remember that. So you're not incorrect, but what's going on is the way you've set up the material reflection is there's something going on with the reflection. I'm not a material expert, I'll admit that, but I know something's off. I will have to go in and work on it. So basically what would happen here is we'll take like this huge 5,000 pixel and we're just gonna do this. I clicked too many times. Now it looks like it's foggy. Let's undo a little bit. Maybe something like that. Okay. Or after. Huge difference. What do you think makes more sense? This one that has suddenly darkness everywhere on the ground, or this one that has some brightness? You tell me. And I'm gonna wait for you to tell me. Also, compositionally wise, you want to work on your composition and focal point if you want to as well. Okay, gotta narrow down your image a little bit. You don't need to show everything all the time. Arguably, I'm not sure which one is better, but yeah. Do you understand the difference, Manuel? Okay, very good. Very good, very good. I'm very happy to help you. Thank you. Come again. What else? Three. Not gonna use this. Wow, what's going on here, bro? Bro. What's this? Woo, bro. Last year, bro. Come on, Manuel. It's interesting. Hmm. I see the color palette. I get it. So it's very common to use the orange blue color palette. And that's fine. It's very traditional, but there's a lot of light going on here. There's light here, which is orange, but it seems blue. I don't know if it's the material, what's going on, but it doesn't seem correct. This one is blue, seems correct. Super bright emissive. Probably could turn down the bloom a bit too much fog inside, probably because the thing with fog, it creates flatness, and it also desaturates. And what do you know? Oh my god, this amazing lighting course covers everything you ever need to do. The danger of fog. What do you know? This guy is so prepared. So this is the things you want to keep in mind. You want to don't overdo the fog. Fog desaturates color. I dare you to go to Unreal, any of you. You take two of the same color, super bright, super saturated, add in fog. The one in the fog is gonna lose its saturation. It's gonna look like two different color, but it's not. So that's the thing with all of the other pieces as well. But the minute you add fog, it changes the color balance and the color harmony, and you need to understand what happens and why you're doing these things. Flat. When I say flat, Manuel, I mean this is obviously foggy. So when you're foggy, light scatters. When light scatters, it tends to be brighter. That's why concept artists they like to use a lot of fog in their darker pieces. So, for example, I'm just gonna. Well, it's a public space, so I should be allowed to search thing, right? I can find something. Black Ops, obviously. Black Ops do it too. So anything that's dark, and this is from an actual inspiration, I'm guessing, or maybe. So we use fog. Why? Because if you remove the fog, this is all dark. Okay, very important to understand that. That's why concept art is, or even in this case, this inspirational piece. You can see it here as well. Yeah, this. I'm not going to comment whoever that is, but the fog is there to fill the light. But the minute you do that, it gets flat. Okay. So here you have a very blue color of fog. So you have to also consider does the color fit? Maybe you should have more gray fog or white fog. Does it work? Does it not work? Um, the lighting itself, obviously, you wouldn't have hurt to have more stronger light a couple of places to have some, some punch to your image. So what does that mean? It means, as usual, I'm gonna keep picking until all of you become super good at this. Is very simple. Just desaturate the image. And if you desaturate the image, you can see that it's okay, you have something going on, but but what if I don't use 5,000 pixels because that's gonna ruin something? And what if you start thinking a little bit about highlighting some of the stuff, right? Make things pop. And it's okay to go darker too. I'm gonna exaggerate in this case, but why did I go highlight? I don't want highlight. And sometimes you might go dark, and that's fine. But it's all about understanding these things and figuring out how you can do that in the engine as well. But if you don't know what you're looking for and why I'm commenting, you don't know what to do. That's why when I teach the courses and teach my students, this is the first thing I drill on them for months. And Thomas Hose, one of my students, he got a job after 3 months. He got a lighting artist job because this is the one thing I drilled for him to learn, and that's all he needed to really have someone train him to that. Okay, so this is super important. Do not underestimate this. Super important. Cool. I'm sure you get the idea, right? What else do you have going on? Boop, 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 boop. And we have no other than Clayco. Look at him coming in the last minute. Oh, look, you're getting up. Maggie, you need to change your nick. I want to know your name. Also, get some roles. Come on. I spent so much time setting up things. You don't even use it? Javier. Is it pronounced correctly? Javier? Javier. 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 Okay, Javier. I'm actually just gonna tell you what you need to get rid of, bro. Bro, come on, man. If you're not gonna improve the lighting, you need to get rid of it. Okay? We agree on that? Go away. Yeah. If you're not gonna fix the lighting here, go away. If you're not gonna fix the lighting here, go away. That's about it. But out of curiosity, we're gonna go and have a look anyway. 3 years ago. Go away. 5 years ago. Dude, go away. Delete. Don't delete them, but unarchive them. Oh, you had so much potential here, bro. Bro, the lighting could have been so. I see all the light sources. Oh, I see it. Did you do it? No, you didn't. That's cool though. But you can get rid of this one too. You don't need to keep all of these old PCs. Why? Why are you doing it? Well, that's a lot of shit going in this room. Who the hell lives here? There's a robot. There's a screen. There's a tablet. There's another screen. There's a ketchup, whatever. Then there's clothes. There's food, and oh, I'm hungry. And yeah, that's look that someone's going to work and forgot to take whatever. And there's what temperature is it? 35 to 27 and 200. This food been cooking for 200 what? 12 minutes? 12 hours? I don't know what it is. Too much. We don't need that. But you could improve the lighting here for sure. A little more brighter here wouldn't hurt. Mr. BB blue BBP8 probably could have some fun with that too. Yeah, probably can improve it rather than remove it. But my advice to you, Javier, it says 3D environment artist. So my advice is to make sure you keep making new pieces that are up to date and remove the old pieces. Okay. See, you're doing something that has a Star Trek reference to it. So I'm gonna ask you, did you even look up Star Trek references? And if you did, when you were doing the lighting, did you even consider the references for the Star Trek Enterprise lighting? Because my friend, you better than that. And if you didn't, it's not because you couldn't find the images. Is that from the bro? It's not white light. It's warm light, bro. This is not white. This is quite warm actually. I will redo this one. Do you still have this one or no? If you just change the lighting, it would even look much better. Look at that, it's super bright. Everyone is like with his hands on the side, ready to dance. Say hey. Cool, man. I mean, obviously you know modeling, but I would definitely improve your consider improving your lighting to present your work. Because that's what I noticed. The first thing I noticed is that the image is flat, and when the image is flat, your work isn't presented as well. Does that make sense? That's what I tell students who are doing 3D modeling and 3D environment. You want to stand out. You're gonna go a long way if you learn lighting because it presents your work so much better. I remember this one actually. Why do I remember this one? Well, I known you for a while, so probably why. I like it though. I mean, these are two different things. Like this is kind of overcasty, I suppose, but this is better. It's good. I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm also very tired, so I'm not picking on you too much. There's one thing though. This type of shadow, we're gonna teach you that next time. I'm too tired to teach you guys shadow and what this means, but you want to make this brighter anyway. It's still a bit flat considering the time of day, the direction of the light I can see on the sky, and the shadow length. You know, you want to brighten this up a bit. Where's your other work though? You can't believe you gotta. This is obviously an improvement. Oh, look at that. The sky is overblown. Too dark. Too dark. Gotta let the light go in. I mean, this is still outside, so it shouldn't be this dark, yeah? You understand? Oh my god. The level of exhaustion. Can I just... Do you think I can get away with just a simple exposure increase? No, so that's why I said bright sky, because I kind of knew already I couldn't do this. But it should be this brightness, but not necessarily outside. Okay? But it should be like this kind of bright. I'm not going to go in and start tweaking with the mask and everything, but you want to have some level of brightness to it. Okay, do you see how clear and do you see how nice everything starts looking when you guys kind of push the brightness a little bit? Look at this. This is quite flat. Yeah. Again, it's a huge difference. See that? I could just go in and draw again if you want me to. You want me to? I'll do it. I'll do it. God damn it. See? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then you can also do a little bit here. Because obviously if you make the shadows darker, what you're gonna do? What you're gonna do if you make the shadows brighter? You gotta make everything else brighter as well. That's right. That's right. 10 points to anyone who thought about that one. Good job. So happy someone thought about that. So this is, I would imagine this is the focal point, right? Also for the record, but you see the point, right? Before I go away, right? This should be in your brains by now. That light over there, bro, come on. This light over there, that. What kind of light do you have? What kind of light have you been watching, huh? Please tell me. I'm so tired of messing with you guys as well. You would not see. So an environment, and I teach that in the course as well, which is why you guys really need to start jumping into this course. I kid you not. So there's something called EV, which is how light works. I'm gonna give you some free tips. I swear to you, if you go through the course, or even, especially the mentorship, you're gonna kick ass by the time I'm done with you. I can definitely teach all of you I'm so tired I can't even remember what I was looking for. Exposure level, light. EV curve. EV chart. Do this actually every day. I'm gonna use my default one if I find it. I don't find it. Okay, we will maybe give you guys a visual example. Okay, here's a crash course in my room. Okay, you guys paying attention? This is complicated. You guys paying attention? Huh? Huh? You guys paying attention? I don't see you guys paying attention. Pay attention. You guys paying attention? I don't see you guys paying attention. Are you liking? Are you subscribing? Are you enjoying this? You better pay attention. So, exposure. People doing photography knows this pretty well, but even 3D artist needs to know this pretty well. In my room, if I go back and turn off the light, which I'll do, it should have gotten darker, right? Let me see how I look. It's darker. Actually, I always like this lighting better because I don't like the top light, right? Who said no? You're not paying attention? Get the fuck out of here. And then I have a light on the right side. Okay. Pay attention. Should be darker, right? So this light you see is from the outside, right? It's that's the exterior light from the window without any fake light. That this is the light. Obviously, you have the light from the screen as well, but you can see from here that it's coming from the outside. Now, for any with a strong eye, you can see I have warm light coming here. But this warm light, see, it goes away. It's very hard to see. So this warm light, what happens is this warm light comes from the fact that each environment has certain level of EV, and each EV decides if it's normal exposure, overexposure, underexposure, bright light or dim light or dark light. Certain light sources are not going to show up if the outside light is very bright. So when you have a image like this during daytime, we try and decide which one is brighter and darker. So what that means is you need to have exterior light, daytime. So what tends to be bright is the emissive part, right? You can see this one is pretty bright during dark. This one is almost equally bright, if not brighter than when it's dark. Okay. This one is in this underexposed image, but you can see that okay, it's bright there, and then there's a little bit of brightness there. But generally speaking, this amount of light and all the lights, you don't need to overdo it too much and make it too much visible. Because in reality, if you take a flashlight and you go outside in daylight, you're not going to see anything from the flashlight. But the darker it gets, the more you see of the flashlight itself. Okay, that's the point here. So don't have like a full daylight and then you have like a super bright light. That wouldn't normally happen. Okay, you can see this was in the shadows, so it's different. But this one is out in the open, and then this super bright light. So you feel free to dim it a little bit, so it's not like all over the place. Okay, makes sense. Because otherwise the eye is going there a little bit. It's going okay. What's going on over there? Why it's so bright? And if it's so bright, you would expect more light, which you wouldn't necessarily see all the time. But in this case, you can make the decision on your own. But yeah, makes sense. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Which one? Oh, I can't look at you, man. You gotta come on the stream if you want to talk to me. Why are you watching private? Okay, cool. Happy that made no sense. Good for you. Okay, 1 second. 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 1 sec Dome light. Do. That's cool, man. Hair as well. Don't be afraid to light it a bit more. Look at that. These stand out so much, it breaks the illusion. See that? And it's even glowing. Don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. I have another student like you actually. He also overdoes this all the time. I have to tell him to. But he works in a virtual new studio as well, so I have to be a bit more picky. This light, this close, this bright, this side should be much brighter. Same here as well. It's a bit overkill for my taste. I like this. This cool. Again, don't be afraid to make it a bit brighter. This is cool. A stir eye. I don't know what's going on here, but that is super bright when you have the light right next to it. Interesting colors. A lot of green bounce light going on here. What's up with that? Cool. But you get the point. Always room for improvement. I would have pushed more orange. Also, I see your fog coming in, which, that's the problem with Unreal fog. It's not really that good, to be fair. But you want to have some control over your lighting and control of the fog. You can do that by adding extra light with no shadow and turn off all the fog for the other lights and kind of fake it. So you have the angle of the lights is just sunset and sunrise. You know that, right? So this one is a bit, give the sense a bit warmer, but this one is a bit colder again. And when you look outside, it doesn't match the angle of the light. And how do we know that? Well, you can see that from the environment. You can see that there's something outside there, and then you can see the window, and you can see the length of the shadow and the direction of the shadow. This would be more towards a warmer look for it. Unless you would try really hard to copy some of the stuff, right? Overall, it's alright. I mean, I would have gone for a warmer tone, generally speaking. All of you need to work a little bit on your color harmony, and there's no shadow. What's going on? So this light has a direct light coming. You can see that by the shadow. So don't be afraid to add a fill light if you need it. Too dark here. A lot of fog. What's going on top there? Oh, that's the bullhead. It's so black and so dark. That's, you gotta pay attention to those things. That it's not like so dark and bright that you can't tell the difference. I would definitely have gone for more warmer. I think I would have gone for a bit more warmer tone because of the angle of the light and tweak a little bit of the mood and everything. I think I would have done that. But yeah, it's a lot to work on. Again, you guys are really into using the fog a lot. I'm not saying you can't, but in my course when I teach it, you'll notice I don't overdo it. It's quite subtle, as much as possible, right? So it's there, but it's not like in your face kind of there. Where is it? I should make a video of it soon. So I mean, there's still fog here. Your eye can't probably see it too much, but it's still there, and it's very subtle. And this one is brighter, so there's more obvious. This one, that's the night. But you can see I still have it in the back, but it's not like in your face kind of stuff. You can still see it here as well. Can, well, technically you can see it. You can definitely see it here. So it's very subtle, all of it. When I'm doing it, I don't want to overdo it. Also notice the difference of color choice, color palette, but also how clear everything is when doing it. Okay, makes sense? Does it? No? Yes. I'm a roasting artist. The bull is cool, man. The Junsin is cool. I mean, you guys are doing a great job, for sure. The 3D is obviously very cool. Javier. But definitely you want to push more. Let's play around with it. Should we? Can we? Yeah, a little bit. Which one should we play around with? This one? This one? Let's try this one. Javier. Oh, Javier. See, I can already see that this kind of flat. I have this Christmas singing for some reason. Blah 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 blah. Actually, before we do that, we got a cheat today. Boom, 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 boom. Photo filter. There we go. Boom, done. See that? That looks more close to a sunset sunrise using this angle. See that? You're welcome. You're welcome. No problem. I'm happy to help. And then sunset, isn't necessarily bright, but in this image, you guys have to remember. I teach this in the course too. I show like how you do it realistically, and then I show you how to do it a bit creatively. And the purpose is that you're still making an entertainment or something visual. Don't be afraid to go off it afterwards, but you have to understand what you're doing and the balance of it first, right? So this is against the wall, right? So maybe I'll make this a bit darker, and maybe this one is. Generally, when it's near the window, you might go a bit brighter, right? Makes sense? I'm just going to overdo it. Because normally, again, this has something to do with exposure. When you're inside the room, it's going to be a little bit brighter outside, but not too much. But a little bit, but not too much. I'm exaggerating a little bit for you guys, because I just want you guys to understand it. That's all I want. All I want is for you guys to do awesome stuff and then be happy and live happily ever after. That's it. Is that so much to ask for? For you guys to put in the work? It's not. See the difference? It's an exaggeration, but okay. Boom, 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 boom. Has a different warm feeling to it. Like, okay, boom, there's a light coming in. Oof, and it comes in. Okay, thank you. That's my opinion. Agree? Disagree? Agree to disagree? Tell me, Javier. Javier, 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 do you agree or not? Tell me. Come on. Come on. Do you agree? See how I actually, just with the Photoshop, I also removed the flatness of the fog. Come on, tell me. Tell me, is it good? Are you happy? Oh, look at that. People sneaking in last minute. I was supposed to do this 1 hour, and you guys are coming that last minute. Sneaky little bastards. He agrees also. Yes, Javier agreed too. I'm very happy you guys are understanding the value of this, okay? Don't forget, guys, please consider buying at least my course. It will help lighting but I would prefer you guys to do this. If you are interested, message me. I will give you a special deal. DM me if you really want to. These are just the public offers. I do give special offers to people who are serious. So there are hidden offers that is not listed here. okay, that I can give if you're serious. And also for the record, we have guest mentors also in our community, so you wouldn't necessarily always have access to me. You will have access to other people also teaching you as well on top of it. But this is if you go for the bigger model like this one. But again, talk to me and I'll see your budget and then give you an offer accordingly. Okay, just putting it out there, not forcing anyone, but just making awareness that there are some good shit going on here, and I would love to have people a bit more seriously. I already spent 2 hours. And you can see the amount of value you're getting just from that, and you can get this kind of feedback on a weekly basis and more, right? Okay, let me get something to drink. You guys, come in last minute. Any feedback? How you guys liking it? Let me just turn off the camera a little bit. You guys happy? You guys getting something out of it? Huh? Any feedback? No? I'm just gonna take a 2 minute break. Is that okay before we go for it, Pablo? So hopefully you understand, and hopefully you can see also just by the time we spent 2 hours already, and the lighting is changing, and I'm changing the lighting of the room to match that, right? To make sure it's the way I want it, because I like to have the bright side here, right? Um, so I guess we can do one last one. Pablo. Depends. Pablo, you here? Pablo, 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 Pablo. Are you here? Pablo, Pablo, are you here? Pablo, I know you. Wait, where do I know you from? I know you, Pablo. Where are you? How come I know half of you? I must not have much going for me if I know half of you. Okay, we share the screen, okay, and we go through Pablo. Pablo, you're the last one, okay? I got stuff to do. I'm hungry. I have a life. At least I like to pretend I have one. And yeah, this is cool stuff, Pablo. This is great. That's all the feedback I have to give to you. Thank you. Come again. No, just kidding. I'm sure I can find something that's terrible with yours too. Okay, let's start with your latest one. I'm not gonna give you feedback because I already know I gave you feedback on this one, and I can tell you didn't actually implement it a lot. You didn't. Shame on you. Shame on you. Campfire. I don't mind it, but it's a bit spread out. The color is a bit saturated. Your campfire is I can't even see the campfire, but apparently it can light a lot. Campfire don't actually light as much as people think. I like this, but again, you have to keep in mind your values. What's up? Like, isn't there? Where's the share code for me? Does this go black and white on your side? Is it black and white when I do this on my screen? It's like a hotkey to grayscale very quickly, so I don't have to go into Photoshop. Does that work? Is it like black and white when you're watching it right now, or is it just still color? Tell me. Tell me. Let me know. I want to know if it works. Tell me. Does it work? Someone. Someone tell me. Is it black and white or color? Is it black and white or color? Come on, tell me. Tell me. Because otherwise I have to go in Photoshop. Tell me. No one wants to tell me. Fine, be like that. Don't be afraid with, it's quite black, radiantly speaking. So don't be afraid to have some more light. It's very bright, then dark, and that doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. Once a bit, no. Why? Oh, where is the image? There is the image. Let's take this image. Okay. Okay. We show this Pablo also. Yeah, we go through with Pablo. Pablo came a bit late, maybe. Maybe. Okay. Where did the image go? Did it go somewhere else? I'm definitely getting tired, aren't I? Where'd it go? There. I did save. And I put it here. There it is. Okay. And we're supposed to go here. And there we have it. Okay. Yeah. I'm so weird today, aren't I? That's okay. That's okay. Some of us are just mentally unstable, and it's okay. It's okay for the world to know that. All right. I would mind, it's kind of very black. See, this is why I don't like fog when people give me images. I can't do it because the fog really takes away all of the information. And then this stuff going on here, actually have to tilt my head to see it. I don't know if I will go with that much. It's kind of. Don't prefer to go a bit darker actually. That's probably what I would do. This one is so bright. Cool. Highlight. It's a bit hard to edit this one because you're all over the place. It's fog. You guys are fogomaniacs. Fogomaniacs? Yeah, we're gonna call it fogomaniacs. So you can make it a bit more even. You can see where the minute you put out the information, it starts looking more cinematic. I don't know if you can see that. And then obviously we'll tweak it a bit more as well. I might even go as far as cut down the overly cartoonish. The thing people have with the cartoonish style is they always overdo it because we're so used to it. But don't be afraid to tone it down a little. It actually makes things a bit more realistic. Can you see that? Do you see that? Tell me. I want to know. I want to know your opinion. Early game, I think the campfire looks right to me. You would know better if you went to my course. Because in my course, I actually teach you. I teach you, man. All of it. Where is it? There. Candle principle. It teaches you the actual range and values of a campfire and how far it actually goes when it's dark. Yes, that's right. I cover all of this. I got you guys. Life is so easy. But you see this one? What's the difference? It suddenly looks like a Disney slash Marvel slash something because it's toned down a little. Just a little bit. It's not too much. Just a little bit. Make sense? Yes? Okay? No? Okay. He agrees. What matters is Pablo agrees. Also, you say you're a 3D lighting artist. Pick one. If I'm looking for lighting artists for my work, which I obviously do sometimes, I'm not going to talk to you if it says 3D because then it tells me, like I told someone else earlier today, it means you're not serious. And I want people who are serious. Ooh, I remember this one. I've given you feedback on this already. My issue here is just composition more than anything. It's like there's a door here, there's a light there, and then there's stairs here, and then there's a little bit light here, and then the door is open and there's light inside, and there's something going. Is that a chair? Yeah, it's a chair. I would definitely work with the lighting and the composition here because readability, guys, readability. Okay, very important. You guys need readability. Also, what's up with the light? Why? I don't know who guys taught everyone that you need to have everything pitch black to have horror. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna teach you guys. I need to make a new tutorial course. I really do. Everyone is making everything dark, thinking that's how it makes things spooky. No, it's color, color, value, color, value, color, value. Okay, okay. Also, when you have this much strong light, it would make logical. I'm just talking about logic. Logic. It would make sense that the light is bouncing a little bit, right? Wouldn't it? You have fog everywhere, and as I told, if you have fog, it captures the light, right? Just when it rains, it goes into the raindrop and it just spreads out. It's the same with the fog. It's gonna go into it and it's gonna illuminate the room. So if the fact that you have a lot of fog, which is why I don't like too much fog, and you can see it in this 2D image. I'm not even in your engine. I can just do this and I can see all your fog. And what does that mean? It means your image has a lot of fog. And I didn't even do anything except just reveal the actual value of your image, which is pretty underexposed. Is it overexposed? Underexposed. Never remember that. But I can also do the exposure. And I can do the same. So that normally means that there's a lot of work we can do with the image. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just compositionally wise. First of all, you have this thing in the middle, you have the things on the left, you have the things in the back, you have a strong light in the middle, and you have a strong light on the right. So there's a lot of room of improvement. We want to be careful with these fogs everywhere. Try and light without fog, and try and light without making everything super dark. It's a very good practice, everyone. You're going to learn a lot if you can master that. So don't be afraid of that. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying that there's many different approaches to doing this. I like this one, looks cool. This would not happen though. See this lantern? That would not be on whatsoever. Or the candles, they would not be on. There's no reason to have candles on during daytime, and these lanterns wouldn't be bright. I said that earlier in the stream as well. And I teach that here as well in my course. That the brighter the daylight, the less likely the local lights will be visible. That's kind of the simple explanation. A bit too bright. Remember your composition when you place things around. It's very important. Don't want to overdo it. Sometimes having less is okay. I like that these are off. That's good. I would have preferred this one is off too. But yeah. It's cool, man. You guys are super good at the stuff you guys do, obviously. I mean, I don't even remember how to model anymore, to be fair. Quite jealous of all of you. Also, all of you guys really should put in your references, because if you're doing stuff from, it's much easier to give you a feedback and for other people to judge you if you have actual references. Does that make sense? Zoot coffee coaches, you can send in your portfolio if you want to, but I've already been doing this for 2 hours, so be aware my level of feedback and the quality of the feedback has dropped drastically by now, which Pablo probably has noticed as well. So one thing I've noticed with all of you, you guys are missing a lot of references when you're trying to do some real stuff, and it's kind of important to add some references. And if you haven't followed me on ArtStation, you should have. For those who are not friends, go away. You gotta follow me. What's this? Ah, it's my old tutorial from Wing Fox. Yeah, you know, my first tutorial from Wing Fox, which is cheaper actually, but I wouldn't recommend buying it because it doesn't teach the level of skills that I know now. Paid my bills for 3 years because I've taught over 3,000 students, believe it or not. So you're in good hands. Good hands, people. Good hands. I am. Where does this pop up? Ah, okay. Okay. There's another guy I helped out for this company. I'm everywhere. Oh my god, I didn't know people were adding my names. Whatever. That's not good. That's not necessarily a good thing. Because when people search me, I want my stuff to pop up, not actually want other stuff to pop up. First of all, night, you can see most of the things, right? Don't have a pitch black like you do. First rule, first point to prove, in case you were wondering if I do it. Second point, it's the same here. At this night, there's another night here. It's still dark. It's obvious it's dark. If you don't agree, please tell me, because that means I need to do a better job, obviously. I did this one. I might do this one again with the meta-humans, but yeah, you can see a reference and you see the lighting. You see how accurate it is to the point of all the specs on the side, the cheeks, the forehead. Okay, this is the level of detail I'm talking about. This is the level of quality I'm trying to teach you guys. This is quite important. Even the color you can see is almost identical. At this stage, since it's 2 years old, I can see that I should have gone for more teal, right? And this is what I was said. This is what I would say during a job interview. If someone looks at it like, "What would you change?" The color would be one of my first choices. It's very clear at this. 2 years later, I can see it even more clearly that I didn't pick the exact same color. So that's like a thing I would do differently here. But yeah, always have a reference so people can make that judgment and make a big one if you need to. Right? Make sense? So please try and start doing that. It's the same with this one as well. I have two versions. This is the reference from Alien Isolation, and this is my version of it. And then this is the community version. This is what the community voted on at the time. But I think it's shit. And one day I went, fuck it. I like my own version. I'm gonna put that up. And all the interviews I've had, they agree with it. So obviously I made the right choice. I'm happy with that. Here again, dark. It's not super black and dark. It still has the contrast. You see that? Does that make sense? Any of this related to actually everything we're going through? Yeah, did I just search using my link for you? That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, come on. Why it happened? Oh, it's just weird. Why can't I go back? That's so stupid. All right. Any comments? Any comments? Zoot Coffee, you can send your comment. You can send your portfolio in the Discord chat, in the public. I like this. It has potential. But I don't know if this would be on actually if it was no one on it. But I see your point. I would probably have turned this top one off, and I would have probably dragged this one even further if I wanted it like this. And then I would have turned off the red light. And then I would have moonlight coming in from the left side down like this, kind of illuminating the bike a bit more. Because right now your focal point is this little area here, okay? That's what's going on here. Okay, let's keep going. Where is it? Dude, I'm so tired. I can't even see the stuff. Do I have to refresh? That's the thing. This is this one. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. So what I would have probably done, I really need to learn some new hotkeys for these live sessions. I normally do it a bit quietly. So I suppose what would have been cool for this one actually is a bit, just a bit of. Let's do another layer just in case. Just like kind of like a moonlight coming in. Making this one a little bit brighter. I'm gonna be very lazy, so bear with me. Kind of like that, not like that, but does that work? Barely. Let's do this. Right, so I would have some moonlight kind of coming in there, and because right now this one is the focal point. This area is your focal point, right? This area. That's not good. There's no point to have this one as a focal area. So that's what I'm saying. As you wanted to do something with that, you would have to do that differently to increase your focal point. So I would probably push this one, and I would have removed the top light probably. And maybe I would have made this. Maybe I would have made this focal point. Not sure. Or I would have made the bike. Probably the bike or this. And if I did, I would be paying a lot of attention to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I'll probably be, if maybe there was some blue light coming in here from the side. Okay, I would have to start thinking about the color palette a bit, but it's a very flat image. You have no depth, obviously, in this case. So these are the things I would think a little bit about. Okay, makes sense. It's a cool piece. I mean, they're all cool stuff, guys, for sure. Makes sense? Does it make sense? Great. I'm so happy I'm useful. It helps my imposter syndrome. Okay. Also, do you want me to tell you what to remove? Too late. I'll take the liberty. It's the king of lighting, but no. No. There's a poster, so no. Don't care. What's this on top? Smoke? Ah. No. 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 You fog. Is that your reference? Yours is too bright. Here's the opposite problem. You made it too bright. This is this is white. This is not blue. You're blue, bro. Show me your stuff. I'll help you. So I don't know what you see when you see the references. This is what I'm training students for, by the way. You need to see the details. This one is super dim. This is super bright, and you put it right by the entrance. So obviously, if you're gonna follow this reference, you did already a very good job by all means. But you would have put this one on the left side there, right? So this would have gone there, based on the reference. That would have been a bit dimmer, right? Because there's something else lighting it, and this one would be warmer. So would be warmer. So this would be over there. The fog will be less. So what does it mean? It's going to be less. Means it wouldn't go this far. It's also not blue. Not blue. No blue. Also doesn't spread as far, so you wouldn't have it all the way down there. There will be no fog there. The ball doesn't actually have any blue light coming to it, but it's coming in from there, and whatever you're doing to make it pop out, it's actually warm light, and it's very subtle. So this one would be different as well. Okay. Also on the top here, there's a rim light here. See that? That's the light, whatever light that is. So here there would be, you should have added some light here as well to kind of add the details. Okay. And also the ground, you can see it's more even. Here you have a hotspot here, which is a no-no according to your reference again. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. The light actually spreads out like this. And it's very soft. Okay? Make sense? I don't know if you guys see that. It's very different. It's not. Again, you did a good job by all means. I'm not saying you didn't do a good job, bro. You all are doing a good job. I'm just telling how you take it to step, another step, another level. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking for help if you didn't trust me, right? Good. Cool, man. I'm happy, man. Thank you guys also so far for being, available and participating. That's really cool of you guys. I really appreciate it. It's cool support, giving me content as well for other people to learn. I can't sit and critique my own work all day long. That doesn't freaking work. Jamie Brand. Jamie Brand. Mr. Zoot Coffee Kuchish. What's up with your name, bro? Bro, come on. So, I see you have a more stylized approach to things. Let's see how much energy I have left. My friend Jamie. The less energy I have, the more stricter I get. So you're an environment art student, so I don't think you need a tree bark. Can anyone guess why you don't need a tree bark? Can I wait for anyone? I'm waiting. Why do you not need a tree bark? Anyone? 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 Why don't you need a tree bark? I'm saying this very strictly because it doesn't really matter for you because you're an art student, but I'm going to point out it anyway. So you're on your last year, I'm guessing, because this is 3 years old. Which means you should be on my course too. Don't buy the video, join the course. Have me actually teach you. Because you're not going to learn the stuff that I'm teaching you guys now. This is the only way to learn is to join the mentorship. So that's really difficult. It's really difficult to pass on a decade of eye training just by watching videos. That's impossible. Absolutely nonsense. So why don't you need bark? Anyone? No? I'll tell you why you don't need a tree bark. There's dozens of them, which are far superior. So put stuff if you think it's better or equivalent. And it's 3 years old, so I would redo the tree bark. There's no way you can do better. Obviously, you can do better now, right? To do it again and post it again. That's what I would do. Always redo student work after a year. Save your work. If any students watching who's new, always save the stuff and redo it every year. Students never learn this, but it's super important. Every year, redo it for the next 3 years, 4 years. What's going to happen is you can show it in your portfolio. You can say the first year, the second year. So when I scroll down, I will be able to see the 4 year of progress, and I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, this guy's been consistent, disciplined, been doing the shit. Wow, he's really improved in 4 years. I want to hire that guy." Make sense? Yes? No? Make sense? Yes? No? No? Yes? Yes? Look at Henry Martin coming in as well last minute. 2 hours and 30 minutes later. Here I'm starving of food since morning, and you guys are coming in last minute. Sure, Henry Martin, but you gotta go to Discord to do that. Okay, so that's what you guys want to do. And this one is cool. But not sure why there's so much red light everywhere. What's up with that, Henry? Jamie. Come on, man. What's that? This is not even red light. This is a yellow, and then there's a red light there. You think this light go all the way there, bro? Come on, man. It's cool though. I would definitely have used other lighting though, and I would have had some kind of hint. So what I would do with this kind of stuff, I would probably add some bushes, even though it's black. I would like add some bushes around and some details just to kind of give it the set, but also to give it the depth. But generally, you would need to work with the rim lighting and the side lightings. So the colors are kind of all over the place. So you want to make sure that's kind of in the correct place when you do this kind of lighting. But I'm assuming it looks different in the game. I'm hoping. You're losing a detail. I really, please, some of you, give me your models, please. Give me your environments, please. I would love to do like a recording of how I would do your stuff, and more importantly, you lose the shape. Okay, this is black on black. That's not good. I can't see anything. I'm not even sure actually, because I'm an old man. I don't know where it starts and ends. I don't know if that's the edge, or if it goes like if it goes like I'm so tired. I don't even know. But definitely you want to have make sure the lighting creates the shape and form. Shape and form always. Okay? Place the lighting where you create the shape and form. It's that simple. Of course it's not that simple, because if it was, you all would be doing it. That's not an image I can review. I need a better image than that. But it looks cool. No. Why do you think I say no? Do you think it's because it's bad? That's not why I say no. Okay, that's bad. That's not good. You're on a good road. I mean, this is definitely something good. So I'm going to explain to you my issue. And again, this is my personal opinion. Don't get mad at me. You're the one who posted it. Don't kill me. Don't be nice to me. I'm trying to help you. It's good, but there's something going on with the color palette, which I can't change on an image because I'm not that good at Photoshop, and I really should be paying attention to learning Photoshop. But I'm just gonna. I think I want that to be a bit warmer. Pop that up a little bit. Does that work better? Do I like this? I think I like this side more. Okay. And then what I would do. You guys just seeing me play really at this stage. Because some of your images are really hard to help you with. So I really just need to play a little bit. If that's okay. I probably would have had a little bit of light coming down there, maybe a little bit here. Then I would probably push this even more, to be honest. Okay, that's it. So this is yours. This is mine. Which one do you like more, yours or mine? And there's no right and wrong. I'm just curious, actually, generally just curious. Which one is which one you guys like? Which one do you think is closer to cyberpunk color palette and cyberpunk mood? This one, this, 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 this. Mine, his, mine, his. Someone please tell me. I want to know. Tell me. Tell me, Jamie, which one do you like? And you can like your own, by all means. You guys, everyone, let me know which one is better. I need to know for my own sake, because I obviously have a preference as well. This is his. This is mine. Obviously, I like this one for color reason, color harmony reason, and focal point and different things. But I want to know what you think. Can someone please? Yours, yours, yours. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad we agree on that. It's just that it's not just that it's brighter. It's the fact that I'm unflattening the image. Okay, I'm unflattening the image by controlling the color. So what's happening in your image? It's all kind of gray, greenish tone. What I'm doing, I'm taking away all the greenish tone that doesn't make sense. What I've done is I've added purple, cold, environment lighting to the already purple color palette. The teal color palette. That's what I'm doing. The green, dirty look. What I've done, I've stabilized the look a little bit and pushed it. I've dimmed the other lights a little bit, and I've created a focal point. Yeah. And I have a feeling you have a reference for this somewhere, because this is quite similar to the cat one. This guy who's doing the cat one is kind of similar. Okay. We agree on that. Cool. That's fun. Dutch ruins. It's flat. I like this one, but you can push the light more. This one is okay, but again, you can push the light more. Also, the placement of the images. You want to make sure that the trees and everyone it's clear where the foreground, the middle, and the background is. This one looks all even, which is fine. But this is a certain white light here, which isn't really utilized on the rest of the scene. So I'm missing to see that. It's the same one here. Don't be afraid to push it. Right. So if we take this one. So what does it mean? Because there's a lot of new people watching as well, I see. This is flat. Okay. When I say flat, when anyone says flat, and you don't really learn it when you're hanging around with people and they can't really vocalize. They didn't show you what the problem is. And as you see, for the last 2.5 hours, I've been vocalizing and showing you exactly what the problem is. So that's also why, again, for the new people, you should join my lighting mentorship, because I will teach you every fucking thing that you ever need to know to do amazing stuff. Okay? Great. So, what do we want? We want the focal point. Where's the focal point? Is it here? Okay, fair enough. Shouldn't this be brighter then? If that's the focal point. I don't want the shadow actually. Only first. Okay, wouldn't this be the focal point if that's the main area? Is it interesting enough? I don't know. That's not for me to judge. Okay, that's the number one. Number two, was it the best placement of the directional light? I don't think so. Because right now, this is where the light hits. That's not as interesting. If you had done this side instead, like on the side somewhere, okay, it would have been more interesting. But assuming we keep close to this, don't be afraid to make it get the shape out, right? Don't be afraid to even fake it if you need to. Put some extra light if you have to, go there and kind of create some shape and form everywhere. Okay? Not too much. Right. Makes sense? Then if you need to, you can make it darker some places. So that's obviously up to you as well. If you want to go a bit contrasty some places. It's very common, to make it a bit darker in the front. It's not unheard of. You can see paintings, we do that a lot on paintings. You might also want to consider, sometimes we might go brighter sky. Because sky tends to actually be the brightest normally. So you might want to brighten it or you might darken it. It really depends on the time of day and everything. But generally, you want it to be a little bit more contrast and focal point. That's just very simple, just to make it pop a little bit. Okay, makes sense. In your case, when you look at the color, though, there's a competition going on with the actual light source that's human made and the natural moonlight. So here we're also talking about what we call ratio, which I also teach in the lighting course, is understanding how to deal with ratio. Okay. But overall, yeah, it's cool. Okay, I think that's enough feedback for you. I'm not going to go through more, but it's the same thing here as well. It's too dark. You're in the middle of the day. You're losing details. But your work is cool though. Cool. There's one more new one, so I'm just going to keep moving on. Hopefully that was helpful. If not, too bad. Too bad. Too bad. What the hell? Did I click the right one? Was it helpful? You're welcome. You're welcome. Much love to all of you. Henry Martin. So many Henrys out and going. What's up with that? I have 3 Henrys today. Should have a word. I should have name limits. Okay, only 2 Henry at a time. Yep. So it says you're lighting up this. So I'm gonna have to be more strict with you, unfortunately, because it says lighting artist from St. Paul, United States. I recommend having a profile image of your face, by the way. Did you go to the CGMA course? Is that what you're doing here for? Normally, when people do this, they've gone to the CGMA course. What's going on here? Is it top-down lighting or something? What's going on? You don't have a light source. That's the rule number 1. You're gonna have a light source that's there. You need to put in the actual light fixture, right? Otherwise, it's like, whoa, what's going on? But I mean, that's last year, so that's fine. It's a lot of fog, and as I said previously earlier in the stream, when you have a lot of fog, it flattens the image a lot, even though you're trying to have a mood. And when you have that, you have super sharp shadows, considering that. So you want to remember to soften the shadows. The fact that when you have all this fog, right? So you want to go in and tweak the settings so it actually makes sense. There's a lot of light going on. You have a lot of reflections. You want to make sure you have some stability when it comes to your lighting. You have a warm light, then you have a bit cold reflection going on, and then you have a warm light, and you have a light coming in there. You have light off there. You have a green light that doesn't do much. Also think about why we're looking at something. What's the story? That's quite important as well. And I see you have red light coming out under there, and there's blood. And I'm assuming that's where you want me to look, which I didn't. I did not. I just noticed there was a reason for that. Okay, so I'm gonna assume you wanted me to look there, and if that's the case, well, Henry Martin, if that's the case, we need to do something about that, don't we? I'm gonna exaggerate a little bit just so you. I don't know if you've been watching for the last 3 hours, but that's if we can ruin your image. It's just to prove a point. I'm not telling you to do this, but it's just to make you explain the concept of how light in fact works. Yeah. Again, I'm exaggerating quite a lot, but what you want to make sure that this spot is the brightest, right? That you have a reason to look at that. Now there's a challenge. Now we're talking compositional choice as well and camera angles. You chose this angle with a cut off here and this angle here, and you end up with something called rule of third. Okay, rule of third. Do you guys know about that basic rule of third? Yes? No? Maybe? No? Rule of third. Henry. Rule of thirds. Right. If you put an image in these areas, I teach some of it in the course as well. But you want to make sure you have some clarity of the image. So what people do, and I do it quite often in photography too, is that they show too much. There's too much light, there's too much details, and they don't really respect the basic fundamental math rules because this is based on math, right? There's a mathematical reason why we like certain things. Here, you know, if you were to divide it up, assuming we did that, I guess it would be something along the lines of here and here, and maybe here and here. So you don't even have the main object where it would normally be, and the lighting isn't focusing on that spot. Does that make sense? So when you work on images like this, you want to make sure that the focal point is there. So I would have probably, on top of my head, try at least, move this light over on top there, have this light cast light there, make this bigger, or I would just have not have any of these lights very visible, and I would have a light coming in just out there to make a point, and I would make this one a bit stronger to kind of light the areas as well. Okay, so less light, very good practice for all of you. Less lights, right? Don't do it too much all the time, and make sure you put the camera in a place that makes sense. It's all over the place, these things. So we want to make sure we have some control over it, especially as lighting artists. We do need to learn composition and form. You definitely went to the CGMA course, which means you should come here, and you can learn more. Look at that. Ooh. Too much fog. Too much fog, too much snow makes the image flat. The flames, I don't know how much flame you will see when it's so much light. I have to look at some new references for that. It's very dark. The focal point is behind the throne rather than on the throne, so that's something you need to work on. I'm not giving you too much feedback because I'm assuming this is from CGMA because these are all of the scenes they use on CGMA normally. It's a different kind of color choice here. You have some lighting, that's fair enough, but here you have different. Didn't I give you feedback on this already sometime? I swear I've given you help with this somewhere. But you don't want to have two blue lights. Why? Because there's inconsistency. You have three white lights, which for some reason doesn't cover a lot of area. And then you have light there, which I have no idea where it comes from. It's definitely not from this one. Even though we probably did this one. It shouldn't be this one. And then you have blue light, and then you have light coming in here. See, there's too much going on. And then you have moonlight coming in for one direction. So you want to simplify the process and make sure you have a color consistency. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so I've given you some feedback before. That's what I thought. So why does color matter? Okay, I'll explain why. So when I did this whole environment for Ubisoft, there's one color inside and there's another color outside normally. So the inside tends to be a bit more warmer. Then I think I chose a different teal color outside and a different color inside. So it's like a different color. And there's the way I did the lighting was also to make sure that there was area that are dark. which is meant to be safe because you're playing Sam Fisher in this version of the Ubisoft Ghost Recon Tom Clancy Deep State. You're um, having access to Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell, so you can shoot all the lights. So you design the lights, you think about all the lights where you put them. You put them in a specific way, and you make sure there's enough fog to kind of fill in the blackness. That's what are we talking about here as well, using fog to kind of fill in the fact that there's little light. And then you kind of make sure that there's a color palette to it. So what does that mean? It means you don't add certain light unless it has a purpose. In your case, let's say there's a story, okay, because you're doing game lighting as well. Let's say there's a story and you're moving around. You want to make sure that, okay, certain environments are certain color. Here you have the white one and you have a blue one. And I'm pretty sure I gave you the feedback previously as well not to do it. Okay, it breaks the focus. You might think, okay, but I want you to look at D5 command. Well, the interesting thing is your station, right? So you would also tilt the camera in this example just to show the station and use a different angle. Everything now is super lit, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you want to, as a game lighting artist as well, you want to think about leading the player. Right now, I don't know for sure where to go, and I'm most likely going to the logo, if anything, because it stands out from all the blue lights. Make sense? Okay, cool. And if I'm being too strict, just let me know. I won't be less strict, but it's good to know your sensitivity level. I will adjust accordingly. But I'm super tired. I've been doing this for 3 hours now, so I'm being very quick. This would be brighter. It looks bright, but it's not really bright enough. Here we're talking composition, so when you're flying details and stuff, you want to make sure that's lit as well somehow to create the shape and form and angle you need to tell the story. You have a light coming in here and here. You have to ask yourself, does it make sense? Is it believable? Even if it's not, you can fake it, that's fine, but is it believable? Is someone going to stop and look, where's that light coming from? Where's this room light coming from? Where's the foreground? Where's the background? Okay, this is distance. Fair enough. Okay, there's a light there. There's a light there. Would that make sense? Maybe. But there's a super bright light there too. So why doesn't that light this side? Interesting. What did you do? Okay, where's the blue light? There's a blue light here. Where's the blue light coming from? Is that a reflection? Where's the reflection? Where's the blue light reflection? Why did you put the laptop this direction? Could you have done it somewhere else? Could you have put it further down so you don't block the tube? Could you have removed this metal? So these are the things you also need to pay attention to, because when we, even as lighting artists, we are often the middle person in the whole project. So we have to understand materials. So if a material artist, 3D artist, environment artist, yeah, you can trust them. But most of the time, often there are chances they do it wrong. You need to know why. Why that be this dark? Why that be this bright? What's the wrong with the roughness and normal? And when you work with a lot of games now and cinematic, you got to have some feedback and understanding of your camera angles, how that affects your lighting. If you're working on certain environments with room, you need to be able to express, okay, we need a different color for the materials because I'm gonna do this lighting and that's gonna not look good with night lighting, so you need a different material color. You do end up in some studios, and eventually you will end up in the situation where you will be asked to like create pipelines and have a thought process for this. Obviously, I don't know if you work already or not, but at least these are the things I would like you guys to be prepared for, at least as a lighting artist. But any artist really should be able to know this. That's you guys really like this fog stuff. When people are really obsessed with the volumetric fog, you have to ask yourself, does it make sense? Is it bright? Is it dark? And why is it all red and blue? It's the library. You move stuff around, I see. So this is blue, this is red. Interesting. I like the thought. I like the idea. The execution, questionable. I don't know why it's red, and I don't know why this is blue. It's very blue. I would definitely have desaturated color. Maybe even have brighter background. I like the idea though. I like that you're trying to be different. That's good. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But it probably would have worked better if it dimmed it a bit. So I'm guessing all of these lights would be red, right? I did some lighting for this too, some time ago. I did two different versions, I think. I also moved things a little bit, but I had a table or something. It's not this. It's actually a bugged scene, so there's stuff you actually need to fix in this scene to make it work properly. And that's the case with this scene as well. The polar facility. The reason I picked teaching it is because it's not actually correctly set up. So I want people to know how do you purchase assets or work with assets, and how do you know it's not correctly done. Especially when you're the lighting artist, you need to know why something's broken because you need to go back to the other team members. You need to be able to say, "Hey, this is why it's broken. I'll prove it to you. Here's before, after, here's three different examples," because they will always argue with you. Well, most of them will say, "No, no, I did it," and you have to be able to prove them that no, trust me. So you need to be able to do that and have an understanding of these things. Yeah. So here's the color palette. So what you did right, okay, that's fine. But what you did right is the fact that you have a very clear focal point. So I'm going to be a little bit nice now because I felt I've been too strict because I'm tired, obviously. This is what you've done right is in the rule of third. You have a clear direction. There's a clear intensity. So in that sense, you did a very good job. So yeah. So you didn't. It's not like you didn't do anything right. Come on, man. All of you did something right. I'm just picking on what could be better. Did it come down? Did I download it? What's your name? Henry? Where's Henry? No Henry? How about I do this? Does Henry come then? There we go. That's one. Where's the other one? There we go. So, as I said, you did. This is not a bad image at all. References is definitely useful. Uh, so if you're gonna ask for feedback, and that goes for all of you, always try and add references in your portfolio or just generally for asking feedback, because if there's a clear intent, it's good to know. Like some of you had references and you see how quickly I could give you how to improve it and what you didn't do and what you did do, right? So I would probably not have that saturated color. I would probably dim it a little bit, okay? And I don't even know your reference. It doesn't really matter because the principles of lighting is the same. And also sometimes people pick bad references from just because it's a game and it's released doesn't mean it's good. Keep that in mind. You have to learn to pick the right references as well. So generally, you would have like a punch in the background because you want to illustrate that there's you have chosen bright night light, right? And you want to illustrate that this way. And then if you wanted to like have more fun because you're going for stylized, you can brighten up the top ones. You really make them pop. Yeah. Maybe even go more crazy with your rim light if you're gonna have some fun like that. And then obviously you have to make sure that this one is the one the brightest. But let's see what happens with the color when you do that. It gets saturated. And that's the thing with these things. But you might want to play with it. You might want to go spread the light a bit. So the light goes down here, but you don't really see it go down. So that's one of the things I'm missing as well. It stops at the chair, then you don't really see it hitting down below, which is a bit odd. So I would not mind to see a bit of the color on the ground, a little bit in the shadows. You know, making this area a bit more, popping it out a little bit more. Obviously overdoing it a little bit at the moment, but whatever. Okay, makes sense. The reason I did a bit more, you would have to do it a bit differently and a bit more cleaner. The reason I did that more is because the background is a bit brighter. So when I normally do that, I like to make sure the ratio, which I was kind of hinting to earlier, they needs to be adjusted. You wouldn't normally have to do that if you do this kind of lighting, because this kind of lighting is designed with the fact that you can change one thing and that's all you need to do normally. Okay, make sense? Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want, man. I'm not saying you're doing it wrong, but you can see this one is super saturated, and you can see this one is different. But again, there's a lot going on here as well, so sometimes you might want to consider your composition as well, and placement, and do necessary improvement as well if you need to. So there's a lot you can do, but you can see generally you want some more indirect light at the very least if you want to do stuff your specific way. But you can see there's a huge difference just doing that. And you don't need to have the bright light. You can just make sure that this area has actually indirect lighting a bit better. That means you have to add fill light if you're using real-time lights, right? So this is why we're training, because the more common real-time light is, even with lumens, you still need to know what to fix. Because if you trust technology to do stuff, you're never going to be good at this. The best people, they're not trusting technology. They're fixing and tuning it afterwards or before. Okay? Makes sense? This is cool. Could use a little more detail lighting, but yeah, it's not bad. I'm also saying it that because I'm tired. I don't want to go do something else now. Yeah, it's not bad. You have nice brightness. You have the bounce light. A little bit of tweaks with the materials, probably a little bit more work here. Probably would adjust the colors a bit to desaturate, to tweak the environment a little bit to fit in more. But overall, it's not bad, man. It's good. But yeah, can you tell I'm tired? All right, I think that's enough. If anyone else asking for more, the answer is no. All right, cool. Hopefully that's useful. Thank you for watching. And yeah, it's been 3 hours. So in 30 seconds, I've been doing it for 3 hours. Technically, I could have three sessions instead. So yeah. Yeah, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share. And well, you want only one. I was supposed to do this for 1 hour, and I've been doing it for three now. Next time I want to organize it so we can do 3 different hours, so it's like more regularly instead. No problem, man. Thank you. And yeah, check up the courses and keep up good work. And yeah, thank you for trusting me, and have a good day. Bye.